So, a lot of my reviews are going to be based around Nintendo Switch. In fact, I'd go so far as to say my reviews, but there are some mobile games I can look at for you as well. The reason for that is that I was a gamer growing up. I started off with a SNES, I had an N64, a GameCube, Nintendo Wii, an Xbox 360. You may notice a pattern there. I'm almost exclusively Nintendo. There's no real reason for that. You could argue it's loyalty, etc., but it's not. I just always preferred Nintendo, really. Having said that, I don't really like the Nintendo brand of games. I hate Pokemon, and that may be controversial for a lot of Nintendo fans. I hate them. I just do. I don't really like the cartoony games. A lot of the Mario stuff I'm not into. Some of it I am. I like sort of the AAA rated games that you get on the bigger consoles, but I don't really like the bigger consoles. And again, I'm not sure why. However, I do know why I'm on the Switch and not on the bigger console now. As I grew up, my gaming time eroded. I met my wife, we've got kids, bought a house, I've got a career. I have no time for gaming in my house anymore. I've got a nice setup, I've set up a home cinema in what used to be a study. I've got a projector screen that comes down, I've got a projector with the games console hooked into it, but I never actually get time to play in here, which is why the Nintendo Switch was such a blessing for me. I didn't buy it when it first came out. I didn't feel like there were enough games on offer for me that I was interested in. As I say, the AAA games are really what I like. But that has started to change now. The big game that pulled me into the Switch really last Christmas was Super Smash Brothers, which I know is cartoony. And I said I didn't like that kind of game, but I like Super Smash Brothers, and I don't know if that's just because I really like punching Pokemon in the face as hard as I can over and over, as well as Mario. But I do like Super Smash Brothers, so it did get me the Switch. And as I looked into it, I found more games that I'm interested in. So I've got Doom, which obviously is not a cartoony kiddie game, which I've reviewed for this month. There's more games out like Elite Sniper, Mars Red Faction. There's vampire games coming out. There's Friday the 13th. None of these are kiddie games. And actually, Assassin's Creed 3 and Saints Row the Third have also come out. But what you find with these big games from Switch is they're not going to be original content. They're going to be ports of their bigger console versions. So maybe the older game in a series, as I say, we've got Assassin's Creed 3, not the most up-to-date one, because the bigger games can't be condensed down. The main thing against the Switch that people argue about is the graphics. The graphics don't hold up to the PS4. They're not the same as the rest of this generation of consoles. And I'm not going to argue with that. It's true. It's an undeniable fact. What I'm going to say is, A, I never wear my glasses when I game. So high def, blurry, it largely looks the same to me. Secondly, what I'm trying to find is gaming on the move. I have 2 hours a day on the train where I can game without a kid hanging on me, my wife telling me to do the dishwasher. And that is just what the Switch is built for, really. It's not like your traditional handheld consoles. Your DS, which was the last handheld I had, it felt like a handheld console. The Switch, it may not be up to the PS4 standard, but it's definitely there at the last generation of games, I think. I don't notice a huge difference between that and my Xbox 360. So to have that level of gaming on the move, I will sacrifice the graphics for it. I'm willing to make that sacrifice so that I can game again, so I can be a gamer again. And as I say, the bigger games are coming out for it now. The price tag is big, £300. For your basic kind of Switch package, I think I paid $320 to get it bundled with Super Smash Brothers and some limited edition console and Cradle and blah blah blah. But games are expensive nowadays. Consoles are expensive nowadays. We are getting to the age and the stage where you can't buy every console. You used to have your friends who had the Xbox, the PlayStation, and the Nintendo, and they were really happy with themselves. But who can afford that now? That we're not living rent free at our parents. I can't, so I have to pick a console. If I'm lucky enough to get one, each generation rolls around. And I've gone with the Switch because it's going to offer me the most gaming. And I think that there's enough games and enough genres of people out there now. And if you're thinking about buying a Switch, if you're not sure, look at some of the reviews I've done. Look at the games that are coming out for it as time goes on. and decide, actually, are there enough games on here to keep me interested in my commute? You're not trying to fill your entire teenage years, a whole summer anymore. You're just trying to fill your commute time and maybe the time you spend on the toilet. So that's what I'm after. That's what I'm rating for, and that's why, for me, the Switch is the way to go this generation.